Aloha and welcome to another episode of Stay at Home Blues and Oranges brought to you by After School All Stars Hawaii. My name is Tosa and I am the site coordinator at Kalakaua Middle School. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, follow, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our new videos. Please also follow at All Stars Hawaii on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to connect with us. In today's video, we'll be weaving a yarn finger lei. This is a simple way that you can create a gift of aloha for your loved ones. So let's go over the things that we need for today. The first thing that you need is an open space like a table or a floor. Second thing you need is a pair of scissors. Again, please be safe. The third thing that you need is a set of freshly washed hands. And the fourth thing that you need is one skein or ball of yarn. Alternatively, you could also use multiple colors or balls of yarn, but we are only going to use one for today because it gets a little tricky as you start doing it. You could also, if you do not have yarn, you can take an old shirt with your parents' permission, and if you start at the base of the shirt and cut your shirt in a spiral, you will have one long piece of fabric that you could also use to create a lei. Alright guys, so let's start on making our lei. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to take your ball of yarn and you're going to inspect it. I'm going to look in the sides of my yarn because that is where we're going to be starting our string from. You do have a piece over here on this side. It's usually wrapped around somewhere on the body of the yarn, but that causes it to tangle while you're weaving, so I like to use the end. So I see on this side I have a loop, but it's not coming out, so we're not going to play on that. We are going to go on this side because I actually see it sticking out, and that is where we are going to start with our lei. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out like 2 feet of it, just so it's kind of loose. I can set it to the side and out of my way. I'm going to take my 2 fingers, I'm going to take the yarn, and I'm going to just wrap it around my fingers, and I'm just going to create a basic knot, nothing fancy. And this is what we are going to use to start and pull our lei as we are building it. If you need time to pause and do this, this is the perfect time. Okay, so let's get started on making our lei. The first thing that you want to do is make sure that you take the loop and you're going to put it on your non-dominant hand. My right hand is my dominant hand, so my left hand is what I'm going to be weaving on, and we are going to do an over-under method around our fingers. And the first thing that we are going to be doing is we are going to be going under our pointer, over our middle, under our ring, around our pinky. Then we are going to go back up, over our ring, under our middle, over our pointer. Then we are going to go around our thumb and back down. Under, over, under, over, back around under our pinky, over our ring, under our middle, and over our pointer finger. At this point, we are going to let the string hang on our pointer finger, and this is going to start the weave for the next set. You also want to take your strings and pull them down as low as you can with still a space. Oops, see, you gotta be very careful. Still a space in between each one. And the very first thing that I'm going to do, I'm gonna go very slow for you guys. I'm going to take the bottom string, and this is how we are going to weave every single time. Take the bottom string, make sure that I grab it very carefully, and I'm going to pull it over, and I'm going to pull this string down. And it's going to kind of hang there, and that's fine. One thing that you can do, because this is the loop that we created, you can kind of just pull it down so that you know it's secure, but it will loosen up again. And then also, when you're going over your pointer, this is going to happen every single time. This string is going to be loose, so you have to be very careful when you're pulling this string over. And I use my middle finger to kind of push it in, and the trick is to pop your finger up. All right, I'm going to do the same thing for my middle finger. This one's a little easier because there's no loose string. Same thing for my ring finger. And you want to be very careful. I go slow in the beginning because your string can get loose, and if you grab the wrong one or the wrong string falls down, you are gonna have to start over again. And I've learned this throughout the years. And what I'm gonna do is when I'm done, I'm going to just kind of pull the strings down. It's not really gonna look like anything, and I'm gonna grab the loop string that I created, and that's what I'm gonna be using to pull. And again, this is how it's gonna look, your first one, so don't get discouraged if it looks crazy, because it does look crazy in the beginning. So again, I'm going to start by looping around my thumb. This is our second weave, under the pointer, over the middle, under the ring, around the pinky, back up around your ring finger, under your pointer, your middle, around your pointer. And it's going to hang just like that. Again, I'm gonna adjust my strings. And I'm going to do the same method. Pulling my thumb over, pull this down, pull my ring, push the string under, fight it with my pointer finger. Same thing with my middle. Same thing with, oh, be careful. My ring and my pinky. Then I'm gonna flip my hand over again, grab the string, and you're gonna see that there's starting to form like a weave in between. It kind of looks like a spider's web. I see some other things going on. And your bottom string is gonna be really long at this point, and that's fine. But you do wanna make sure that as you're going along, when you are weaving, that your string isn't too loose. It will create different patterns in the weaving when the lei is created. And then also, if for some reason, say like this finger, the string is super loose and you don't like that, you can just slowly, like how you do a shoe, when your shoestrings are loose, you pull the bottom one all the way to the pointer, and then you can make it tighter because that loose string is still available. All right, let's do one more. Around the thumb, under the pointer, over the middle, under the ring, around the pinky, up and around, over your ring, under your middle, and over your pointer. Again, you want to have some string for slack, so I'm going to pull a little bit and let that hang, and then slowly over the thumb, pull that string under, pull this one over, pull that tight again, over my middle, over and over. All right, flip my hand over again, and this is where you're really gonna start to see the weave. So now I see 4 distinct patterns. This one again over here, don't worry about how that looks. That was the beginning. We can make it look pretty as we go on. All right, so now that you guys kind of have the pattern, I am going to do a little bit more and fast forward, and I will see you guys back in a minute. In the making. From now on, instead of pulling on this string, you can just actually pull on the lei as you saw me doing in the video, and then also try to make sure again that your string isn't as loose. I did see some parts in my lei where some of the string was a little bit longer, the chains were a little bit longer, and again, that's me just paying attention to what I'm doing. Also, if you do have to start again, you know, when you are flipping your lei over your fingers and you mess up, like, this is gonna really suck to have to redo. So just pay attention, take your time. I've done this for a really long time, so I've kind of mastered it, but it does take some time and some patience. So just stick with me. I'm going to do a little bit more and then I will be right back. Lot of lace. So what I'm going to do is, before it gets too long, I'm going to actually measure it on myself just so I know if I need to keep going or if this is good. So I'm going to take the lei, and again, I'm still holding the weaving in my hand, and I'm going to make sure the string is tight so that I don't lose it. But I'm going to take the part where the weave actually starts, not the string, and where I've got right now, and I'm going to kind of make them touch. It could go maybe one or two more, so I'm gonna just do that real quick with you on, and then I'm gonna show you how we close this off and how we complete our lei. So I'm just gonna go over, under, over, under, over, 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 pull, two more. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, hang. I have to tell myself that every single time in my head so that I don't mess up. It can get kind of confusing when you start to go fast. Sometimes you get too comfortable and then you make a mistake, and that is always devastating. So last time, under, over, under, over, under, over, hang. Let the string hang. Last one. Woo, guys, we are almost done. The best part about this is you make these for my 8th graders for graduation every year, and I have gotten into the habit of pushing out like 20 to 30 at a time, and one ball of yarn can do almost all of them, so that's amazing. It's really easy to obtain, and it's a wonderful gift. All right, so I did my last 3 loops, and I'm going to show you how we close this off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the one on my thumb and I'm going to loop it over onto my finger. So now I've got 2 on my finger and then 1 on other fingers. I'm going to do the same thing from the other side. I'm going to go to my pinky and I'm going to point it onto my ring finger. Again, please be careful. Can get a little difficult. I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to put my finger underneath the 2 and I'm going to loop it on top of my middle finger. So now my middle finger has 3 and my ring finger has 2. And I'm going to take the ones on my middle finger and loop them onto my ring finger. All right, so now this is the part that it gets a little tricky. So I'm going to put it on my thumb, all 5 strings on my thumb. I'm going to take my scissors. Again, please be careful. Make sure that you're holding them correctly and that you're never pointing them towards your face or other people. I'm going to take the string and I'm going to cut like a foot. I like to cut things in foot. I'm going to take the string, pull it off to the side. Now I'm going to take this string. I'm going to take all 5 off of my finger, but I'm still going to hold them together so my fingers are still touching in between. I'm going to take my string and I'm going to start looping it through. And what this is going to do is it is going to make sure that all of your strings are still together when you pull the other string through, which I will show you how to do in a minute. So I'm just kind of wrapping it around all different spots on the 5 strings. And I looped it, let's do 5 times. And now you can see that these strings are kind of uniform and they are all pushed together. So now I don't have to worry about them falling apart and having to start over. Now what I'm going to do, since I have my nice little loop, I'm going to take the string that I started to in the beginning, and it's really long, and that's perfect for this actually because it makes it easier to pull through. So I'm going to twist it a little bit so that it's not so like all over the place. And I'm going to take this string and I'm going to pull it through the loop till it gets to the base where I started. And I'm going to take the string that I used to tie around the other part and I'm going to tie them together, make a knot. One more time, tie it around, make a knot, and voila. Finish this off. Again, I'm going to take my scissors very carefully, I'm going to leave maybe about an inch on there just so you can kind of see where the end is. But usually for leis like this, you would want to cut the string all the way off just so it looks like one continuous lei. All right, guys, so this is our completed lei. Let's try it on for size, shall we? Ooh, it's so pretty with the other one. All right. Okay, so our next step, ooh, taking off the wrong lei, is we are actually going to attach the flowers that we created last week, our origami flowers. So again, you could use this, use different types of paper for medium. You can even use money. But what I'm going to do, so I left the strings pretty long for our lei, just because I knew I was going to be attaching it to this. So this is the perfect opportunity to use them. So I'm going to take my lei, and because this is the top, I know where my center on the other side is going to be, which is going to be on the exact opposite side, and I'm going to put a flower there because why not? So I'm going to put it towards me. I'm going to take my strings and I'm going to tie it around the whole lei. I'm not going to put it in between on one of these because if for some reason I have to cut the flower off, I can just cut the white string and I don't have to like fight with it to get it off of that. So I'm tying it around the whole lei. And again, this also will allow you to move it if you need to move it. So there's a few advantages to it. You don't have to tie it too tight. I'm just making sure that it's secured. And I'm going to tie my flower. And then again, I'm going to take my scissors very carefully. And I'm going to go right up to the base of the string and chop. All right, so now I got one more. Let's see, where am I gonna put this? Oh man. All right, I'm gonna put this, you know what? I'm just gonna put it alongside of it because again, why not? Same thing, take my strings. Want to make sure that it's far enough apart that it's not like touching the other one, and I'm just gonna tie it right onto that lei. With the double knot, of course. Take my scissors and very carefully chop it. All right, now let's try this on. Let's see how this looks. Oh my goodness, your lei went from a level 5 to a level 10 in 2.5 seconds. In conclusion, I know you're at home, so it's very important to keep not only your body, but your mind happy and healthy. Doing activities like this, where you can learn to make gifts for others, is a great way to show appreciation, learn entrepreneurial skills, and also practice math while creating beautiful pieces everyone can enjoy. I hope you enjoyed making a yarn lei and attaching the flowers you made with me last week, but please share with After School All-Stars Hawaii your creation. Show us what you made, and please share any materials, tricks, or tips you use to create your own flowers. Thanks for watching and being a part of our All-Star Ohana. Please share this video and comment about what you liked and what you want to see next. Have a great day. Aloha.